Hi, it's Brian again. You know, the past several months of the pandemic have been pretty dismal for many of us, but this week we have several things to celebrate. First and foremost, today is Juneteenth. We'll talk about that a little later, but we're going to end work a little bit early today. You'll receive an email if you have not already. Second, the Supreme Court held that Title VII's worker protections extend to gay and transgender people. That is, gay and transgender employees who are terminated because they are gay or transgender are terminated because of sex, and that is illegal. We wrote an amicus brief in this case. We argued that the state has an interest in promoting equality and protecting its residents' dignity, economic security, and mental health. We're thrilled with the result and very happy that we could play a role. Second, the Supreme Court struck down the Trump administration's efforts to end the DACA program. They said that it was not proper because the Trump administration failed to provide an adequate explanation of its reasons for ending the program. And this offers at least a temporary lifeline to DACA recipients, people who, on average, came here at age 7, and many of whom don't remember or know another country or don't speak a language other than English. There are more than 250,000 children of DACA recipients in this case, and this decision means that at least the parents will not immediately be forced to leave their country and be separated from their children. The case is also an important lesson for government lawyers. Clients must be able to explain to the public why they're making the decisions they're making. After the fact rationalizations are not sufficient. We were a party to that case and hope that the arguments that we advanced contributed to the result. Weeks like this remind me why the legal profession is so important and why the workers of our lawyers and staff make a difference in the lives of millions of Americans. As I mentioned a minute ago, today we recognize Juneteenth. It's the oldest nationally celebrated commemoration of the end of slavery. On June 19th, in 1865, Union Major General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas, with the news that the Civil War had ended and that the enslaved were now free. The Emancipation Proclamation had been delivered 2.5 years prior to that. But today we celebrate Juneteenth by gathering with families and friends to celebrate freedom and to foster knowledge and appreciation for African American history and culture. Today's Juneteenth comes at a time when we are joining our fellow citizens in outrage about police violence toward African Americans, and when we must all renew our commitment, channel our outrage into action, and end systemic racism in our country. This important work begins with understanding U.S. history, and a big part of that history is the slavery of African Americans and the subsequent history of discrimination. I would encourage each of you to think for a couple of minutes this weekend about what it must be like to be born a slave, to be subject to the use and abuse of a master, someone who has the ability to direct your every move, your every breath, and think about what it's like to have a child who is born into slavery with no hope of freedom, no hope of self-determination. These are sad, horrible facts of our nation's history and of its treatment of African Americans. It's important to come to terms with those crimes. And while you do it this weekend, I hope you also have a safe, healthy, and happy weekend as well. We'll talk again soon.